Welcome back to your nightmares, my children. This is Mr. Midnight speaking. I welcome you all to my humble abode. It's been a while, but I'm back to terrify you with two more scary tales from out of this world. So buckle up and let's get into them. And always remember, the darkness always follows. I will now leave you with my narrator, so enjoy.
Don't wander the Navajo Nation at night. The name is Alex. It's generic white boy name, I'm aware. But I was actually born and raised in a small town called Chinle. Chinle is nestled deep in the arid mountains of the NE Navajo Nation in the northeast corner of Arizona. While many Arizonian small towns embody some sort of nostalgic Americana feel, this cannot be said for any town on the reservation. The reservation, Chinle included, was rife with poverty, alcoholism, abuse and social isolation. It's the closest you can get to hell within the United States. So perhaps it isn't any wonder that after buying vodka from a friend at the age of 16, I was merely wandering the outskirts of the town, taking swings of vodka. My father was abusive, my mother dead. I had no real reason to return home for the night, nor did my father have any reason to care if I returned. I had a bottle of vodka in one hand and a gun in my jacket pocket. In the off chance some sizz went down, as it tends to on the res. The night would have been more memorable even without my terrifying and life-changing experience, as it was a frigid March night, temperature below freezing. A light dusting of snow was falling from the pitch-dark night sky. That's the one benefit of the Navajo Nation's clear night skies. But it's truly akin to finding one diamond in 50 acres of shiz. I walked it in a lackadaisic fashion alongside a 2-lane road, a rural road on which few ever drove. I heard rustling noises in the bunches to the left and spotted a coyote. I shrugged it off. I'd had dozens of encounters with coyotes in my life. I had no reason to fear it. I took another swig of vodka and continued walking, hoping I could reach the state line by 1 a.m. The crisp night air seemed to accelerate into a much more frigid, windy atmosphere. Something felt off. Something felt deeply ominous in an unsettling way. I glanced to my left again. The coyote, which mustn't been 25 yards from me prior, was now about 10 yards away from me and slowly walking my direction. Perhaps it's hostile, I thought to myself. Regardless, I remained largely apathetic, though I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a modicum of fear at this point. 30 seconds later, I'm still walking down the road. The coyote is within 30 feet of me, keeping pace with me. It didn't seem outwardly hostile from a cursory glance. It just appeared as if it was following me, as if I had a nice slab of steak in my back pocket. I kept an eye turned to the coyote. I was growing deeply concerned. A drop of icy sweat dripped past my brow. The wind only grew stronger, and the coyote closer. I considered my options and quickly realized that I could get bloody effed over if I didn't act. Seeing as I was the track star on the Chinle High School prior to my expulsion, I leaped forward at a rapid pace and simply ran for it. I bolted. I hauled ass. I sprinted. The coyote remained walking momentarily, as if he didn't want to bother some drunken teenager sprinting through a frigid desert. Then the coyote rapidly picked up his pace, and within seconds was a mere few feet behind me. The facade of passiveness in the coyote's eyes had vanished. I saw pure hatred. I swore its eyes were yellow. I swear it. I had never seen anything like it in my life. Absolutely frightened, I smashed the bottle of vodka across its skull when it came no more than a foot behind me. While the coyote was wounded, I wasn't bloody around. I continued running. I paused for a second and continued running. The glass was easily lodged within the coyote's head. I looked back and saw a pool of blood formulating on the icy road. I looked forward, then again looked back and did a double take. The coyote no longer had a wound on its head and was again running full force towards me. So, I did something that is completely illegal on the reservation. Something worse than bootlegging alcohol at the age of 16. I pulled out my grandfather's old pistol I carried and fired a shot. I missed. I tried again. Missed again. The coyote is again feet behind me, snarling something violent, as if it's trying to communicate. The ominous silence had vanished. The coyote was enraged and inhuman. A third shot. This time it landed in the coyote's head yet again, wounded. And you'd better believe I didn't stop to celebrate. I had seen what this bee was capable of. I dropped my pistol and ran and ran. Then I saw the headlights. I frantically stood in the middle of the road, motioning towards the oncoming car, attempting to stop him. Most Navajo don't pick up hitchhikers for safety precautions, so I was going to force this guy to let me in. Within 10 seconds, the man driving the vehicle came to a screeching halt, almost slipped on the black ice. I stopped and stood by the passenger door, and he reluctantly rolled down his window. Let me in! A bloody coyote is chasing me. I'm not a delinquent, I swear. Please, sir, trust me. He simply nodded his head and let me inside the vehicle. He must have been drunk, I figured, as I took deep, long breaths as I buckled my seatbelt. I gazed into the rear view mirror of the automobile, driven by a silent, drunk Navajo man. The coyote was running behind us, easily going faster than 30 miles per hour, maybe 40. The man took notice of this and began speeding up. Kid, is this what chased you? He said in an incomprehensible slur. That's when it hit me. This wasn't a coyote. The faster it ran, I began to see it. Antlers, a pelt on its head. Wait, his head. The four-legged creature was now on his hind legs. Wait, no. Where did his other two legs go? The driver glanced at me and locked eyes with me. Skinwalker, he said calmly. That is a skinwalker. I will drive fast now, he said. 60, it followed. 65, it followed. Once we reached a magical 80, in his beat-up Toyota, the creature was no longer visible in the rear view mirror. The driver chuckled in a drunken fashion and said, Ha! Skinwalkers and tourists who come here say it's just folklore. That time I saw a skinwalker, a witch and a werewolf. Late summer 1986. We were driving through the Rocky Mountains on our way to Ouray. There were 3 of us, Steve, Danny and me. We were young, dumb and fed up with what life was really like after college. So we bought some matches, packed a cooler of beer, food and beer and loaded up my trusty Toyota with all the fixings for a classic camping trip. This trip was supposed to shake up the devastating monotony of our daily life. And shake us up, it did, to the very core. Right before we were getting ready to set out, Steve's mum ran out of the house and told him he should take their newly adopted family dog, Luna, for safety. Steve was hesitant. He didn't want to have to look after the dog, especially if we were going to be drinking. And she was a big dog, a mixed husky and something else. Great Dane maybe? But his mum insisted until, finally, he broke and agreed to take her. Luna looked up at him with her warm blue eyes and seemed to smile. Steve sighed and said, "Guess I'll sit in the back with her." No, I said, walking over and patting her head. "Let her sit up front with me." She wagged her tail. Most of the car ride went smoothly, and we sang along to the radio, mooed at the cows, and waved at or flipped off motorcyclists. But as we neared our destination, and the sun sank behind us, leaving us in a thick, almost tangible darkness, we started to become jumpy, pointing at strange shadows and swift movements. Luna, though, was curled up and asleep beside me, unaware of our growing fear. The sky was covered in big, rolling clouds that blew swiftly towards the east, covering and revealing the full moon at random intervals. By now, we were the only vehicle on the road. My headlights barely sliced the darkness around us as we weaved our way through the mountains. The isolation, the darkness, the silence, it was all so crushing. "Steve, I thought you said we would be there before the sunset." "I told you we shouldn't have stopped at that bar." "Oh, Danny, I didn't know we'd be there for that long." "You wouldn't stop your stupid pool game." "And I won't, come on, it's not that dark out. Would some money make you happy? You ass." "Hey, cool it, look, what the hell is that?" I slowed the car down to a stop, trying to see what was blocking the road, but the light from the cloud-covered moon was too dim. "What the hell?" "Danny," I whispered as she rolled down her window. I was apprehensive, worried this was someone's attempt to rob us or worse. I had heard all the urban legends before. "I just want to see better." She stuck her head out of the window, and I rolled a little bit closer. Luna, feeling the change in the car's movement, lifted her head and sat up panting. "It's a... oh shiz, I think it's a dead deer, you guys. Gross." Danny retreated back inside the car and rolled the window back up. "Who the hell just leave something like that on the road?" "Asshole," Steve said, then leaned forward. "Hey man, think you can drive around it?" Yeah, I think I can." I approached the thing, now seeing the antlers and the gleaming black eyes, open, staring, dead. It blinked. I yelped and jerked the steering wheel, swiping the mountainside. "Shiz! What the hell, man? It's alive!" "What? The effing deer! It's alive!" As I spoke, the deer lifted its head and bleated. The sound echoed around the chasm. We all jumped and watched as it pushed itself up, until it was standing on its hind legs like a man. But uncanny, grotesque, mesmerized, we sat unable to move as the thing walked over to us, slowly, decidedly, as if walking on two legs was a thing this deer did often. It leaned down next to Danny's window, its face so close to the glass that steam from its nose fogged it up. A low noise rang out through the car. Luna was growling. Her hackles raised, crouched in the seat next to me. Bang! The thing rammed its head into the window. Chaos erupted. Danny screamed, piercing high. Luna started barking, booming, persistent. Steve yelled, telling me to effing go. "Just go." I shakingly struggled with the clutch, stalling. Bang! The window cracked out, and the thing started making an incredible sound. It sounded like a weird screeching, guttural form of laughter. Finally the clutch caught, and I sped the hell out of there. I checked the rear view and saw the thing standing on two legs, looking at us. Suddenly it leaped forward and began running after us. It ran on two legs instead of four, and it was so fast, so bloody fast. I drove as fast as I could on that winding mountain road, but despite my speed, the thing still caught up with us. It tapped its antlers on my window and screeched that weird laughter again. Then it pointed in front of us, bared its teeth and stopped. The abruptness of how quickly it disappeared caught me off guard. "Watch out!" I snapped forward, and what I saw made me slam on my brakes. A house. A bloody house in the middle of the road. I guess it was more of a cottage or a hut, but there it was, clear, vivid, in front of us. Danny was audibly crying in the back seat, repeating, "What the heck?" over and over to herself. Steve was breathing heavily, like he had just run a marathon. Luna was whimpering beside me and scratching at the window. Nausea enveloped me, made worse by the vibration from my pounding heart. Seriously, what the heck is going on? I think I'm going to puke, man. Don't effing open that door. Just back up. Turn around, man. Let's go back. Towards that thing? No bloody way, man. Well, if you didn't bloody notice, there's a goddamn house in front of me. Just drive through it, come on. No. Danny, calm down. It's okay. We're okay. We'll be okay. Danny simpered and started sobbing again. Shut the heck up, Danny, please. Guys, look. Oh God. The house, it was spinning slowly and stopped when the front of it pointed directly at my door. The door to the house slammed open and emitted a sound like a gunshot. A single point of light emerged from the darkness inside the house. A candle. And holding it up was a figure, stooped over, covered in what looked like blackened rags. It began to approach us, lurching forward, swift and slow, then swift again. It was making this eerie, deep, staccato sound. Are you for real right now? Steve was leaning forward, peering out the windshield. Let's go reverse. The thing is behind us. Run it over. Look, Danny screamed. The stooped figure was now running at full speed straight at us. It slammed onto my hood, and we could finally see what it was. An old woman, covered in wrinkles, completely bald, with sharpened yellow teeth. She was moaning and moaning. She crawled up the hood, opened her mouth and licked the glass, leaving a trail of blood-covered saliva. Luna went wild, barking, foaming at the teeth, throwing herself at the door. Please! Back up now! I slammed my foot on the gas, but my tires made a sickening sound, and the smell of burnt rubber slipped into the car. It's behind us! It's bloody behind us! I turned back to see the deer's head, teeth still bared, peering at me from the back window. Shiz, blood! What do we do? What do I do? Luna, no! With a final lunge, Luna forced the door open. It sounds shocking, but she was such a large dog and strong. A powerful wind picked up and the rolling clouds dissipated, allowing the light from the full moon to illuminate the scene in front and behind us. Luna was as still as a statue, slightly crouched, poised to leap. The hackles on her back quivered, and a single thread of drool spun itself down from her mouth. She began to shake, faster and faster. It looked like she was having a seizure. The old woman and the deer thing were both looking over at her. Something strange was happening to Luna. It looked as if her limbs were breaking, elongating, her snout narrowed, sinking closer to her face. She rose up onto her hind legs, humanoid, and howled up towards the sky before locking eyes with the hag on my car. In the blink of an eye, Luna was on the woman, ripping her away, shaking her to and fro in her jaw like a rag doll. Luna flung the woman towards the house, and she struck it with some force and didn't get back up. The house and the woman vanished in a puff of smoke. Luna turned towards the thing behind us. It screeched, raising itself up to its full height, challenging her. Luna howled again, then licked her fangs. The thing took 2 steps towards her before turning tail and fleeing down the road. Luna giving chase. They both ran on 2 legs instead of 4. We sat in total silence for a few moments, until I leaned over and slammed the passenger side door closed. I think Danny passed out. I turned to look at Steve. He looked at me. Let's get out of here, man. We got 2 miles before the tuk-tuk-tuk beneath us couldn't be ignored any longer. A flat tire. I pulled over, and we eyed the darkness around us, paranoid. I'm not changing it. I'm not going out there, Steve said loudly. Don't worry. There's no spare. A what? I took it out to make room for all the camping stuff. Are you bloody kidding me? Nope. Well, what the hell do we do now? I sighed. I didn't know. Suddenly, like magic, like a miracle, headlights appeared behind us. A godsend, a car. I hope they're normal. Me too. Should we tell them? We locked eyes again. No, if they bring it up, maybe. If it's a cop, definitely not. He'll think we're high. The car rolled up behind us. It was totally black with tinted windows. The window rolled down, and behind it sat a middle-aged man. He looked tired, maybe sad. Need some help? Oh, thank God, Steve whispered. Yes, flat tire. Don't have a spare. Well, that's dumb, the man said. You should always carry a spare, always. Never know what could happen. Lucky for you, I think I have one that will fit your car. You joking? The man shook his head and hopped out of his car. He was dressed sharply. Black suit, black tie, black shoes, all covered by a trench coat. Come on, you can hold a flashlight for me. I hesitated, then exited the car. What happened here? He pointed to the window next to Danny's head. Oh, it's been like that for a while. Dumb neighbor kid hit it with a baseball. Uh-huh, the man nodded. And her? Tired, just tired. We've been driving for a while. Driving where? Owari, for camping. Nice place. Yeah, we've heard. Say, the man said, releasing the javelin. Seen anything weird tonight? My heart sped up, and I looked around us, half expecting the deer, or the woman, or Luna to come sprinting towards us. What do you mean weird? Oh, I don't know. Anything out of the ordinary. No why? Oh, no reason, just heard some spooky tales. Tales? That the natives who used to live around here would tell. What tales? The man stood up, dusted his hands off on his coat. Well, he said, ignoring my question. You're all set. You're about 20 minutes out from Ore, and 2 hours from the sunrise. I'd advise you get a move on. Never know what might be stalking you out there. I'm headed the same way, actually. I can drive behind you if you like. A muffled yes came from inside the car, and we both looked up to see Steve nodding recklessly. Yeah, that would be great, actually. The corners of the man's mouth twitched a bit as he nodded, sliding back into his car. We drove to Ore without incident, and as soon as we hit the city, the man in the car behind us flashed his brights twice, then flipped a U-turn, speeding back down the way we came. I thought he said he was going this way, I said, looking in my rear view. Who cares? Let's get a hotel room and leave first thing tomorrow morning, Danny said. She had woken up as we were driving towards Ore. We filled her in on the strange man and how he helped us. but she was still spooked and jumpy. And we did just that. We didn't dare camp in the wilderness or even leave the relative safety of the town. On the way back to civilization, we swore to never tell anyone what happened. It was too weird, uncanny, horrifying. Steve was silent, afraid of what his mum might say or do about Luna. We made up some story about how she had fallen over a cliff after chasing a deer. Poor Luna. We had stopped for an hour around the area it happened and called out to her, but to no avail. We never saw her again. It's been years since this happened, and I'm old now. The three of us lost touch after we returned from the trip, but vowed to keep this secret to our death. Last I heard, Steve died from a heart attack, and Danny was diagnosed with stomach cancer. I figured it's about time I shared my tale. Maybe it'll help me make some semblance of sense out of it. In the end though, I don't know if those things were protecting us from her, or if she was protecting us from them. I guess I'll never know. Sometimes, late at night, when I hear howling, I like to imagine it's Luna out there somewhere, running free in the wild.
Well, my children, I thank you all for listening. I hope these two Skinwalker scary stories frightened and terrified you, because I love the taste of your fear and terror and pain. I'll see you again very soon, so until then, love the darkness as it always follows.